Hey, badass business owners, how would you like to increase your productivity by 2 to 4 times? Yes, that means that you accomplish more in your business as a business owner 2 to 3 to 4 times more than what you're doing today. I know you would love to be able to do that. See, today I want to talk about the 12-week year and what that means and the concepts that you can take from it. Now, the 12-week year is a book by Ryan Moran and Michael Lennington. Now, I'm not saying to go out there and read the book, although I think you would benefit from it greatly. But what I want to talk about is more of the concept, because I think that just hearing the concept will change the way that you look at things in your business. So I thought it was very important that we at least have a dialogue about what is in this book and the whole philosophy behind the 12-week year. Now, normally when we set our goals, we kind of do it by year, right? We say, okay, around this time, we start thinking about 2022, depending upon when you're listening to this, but you're starting to think about the next year. You're like, oh, you know what I would love to create in my business is A, B, or C, or this is what I want to change in my business next year. And because we're in the last few months of the year, we start going, oh, crap. What are the goals that I set for my business this year? I need to get my head out my butt and I need to start accomplishing the goals for this year. We're constantly either chasing what we should have already done or we start thinking about what we plan to do. What we don't spend enough time doing is the actual doing of those plans, of those goals that we set for our business. Now, part of that is because we think we have 12 months, right? We have the whole year to get it done. So we don't feel that rush of what's going on. And most people, for example, when they hit into January, they hit it hard. That's one of the reasons why you see people get very productive. They get things done. They decide to start on a health journey. Gym memberships go up. But you know what happens come February? Almost all of those goals go down. If they wanted to stop smoking, they start smoking. If they wanted to start exercising, they stop exercising. If they wanted to focus on something, they stop doing it. Now, a couple reasons why that happens. One is it's a little bit of the colder months. People are kind of like, they got more time on their hands and they're like, okay, I can do this. I can work on it. But then life starts to kick in. The weather starts to kick in. And pretty soon they stop working on those goals. And when you're thinking about the whole 12 months, the other problem that we run into is we start getting into spring, which is really nice. Business starts to pick up. We start doing more business. Then it's the summer months and then the holidays. There's always a reason. Okay, there's always a reason. We can call them excuse. We like to justify them as reasons, but the reality is they're just excuses why we don't get things done in our business. Now, the problem is, in order for us to run a successful, profitable business, is we have to constantly be improving our business. And we have to definitely be working on the business and not just in the business. And the problem is the vast majority of the year when you're trying to work on those goals, you're so focused on doing the business that you forget that you need to work on the business. Now, here's what's really nice about the 12-week year. Instead of you doing 12 months for a year, you're doing 12 weeks. That's right. You have 4 opportunities to set some goals and to accomplish them. And by making this time period shorter, it takes advantage of that momentum you have when you first set goals. Remember we talked earlier about how everybody hits them hard in January in the early stages? Well, when you have 12 weeks, you really fine-tune what goals you're going after. And what you're going to be doing is you're going to be picking not a bunch of goals. You're going to pick 1 to 3 goals that you're really going to focus on in your business, and you're going to break them down into every week there's something for you to do that gets you one step closer to that goal. Because what we're trying to do is we're trying to create the power of focus. By you picking these smaller time frames, you're going to be able to focus on getting done some of the core things you need to get done in your business. Another great thing about this method is it allows you to pick goals that might tie into the seasonality of your business. So for example, if you're going into season, you can pick goals that are going to help you maximize those sales and those profits during that time frame. Or you can pick goals that help you go out of season to get out of the inventory or to take advantage of going out of season. By having these 4 different times of the year where you have goals, it's going to help you accomplish more in your business. Now, for example, let's take what you're going to try to do. What you're going to do is you're going to say, okay, I'm going into the 4th quarter of this year. Let's just use that. We'll use real time. Going into the 4th quarter of this year. So what's a goal is something that I can set for the back half of this year that's going to impact not only the ending of this year, but also into next year. And you look at your business and you realize, man, you know what? I get a lot of complaints. And when I'm thinking about it, I know the communication in my business, people being able to contact me getting back to people is really suffering right now. And I think that's what I really really need to focus on is that particular aspect. So what you do is you end up picking a goal that you're going to work on the communication with your clients and their ability to get a hold of you and for you to be able to contact them back. You can break that down into all kinds of different things. Because it's going to look different for every single person. But what you're going to do is, since it's a 12-week goal, is you're going to say, okay, what is something that I can work on every single week that gets me closer to the goal? Now, I know some people are going to give me crap that that's not a full SMART goal timeline, this and that. It does have a timeline. It's 12 weeks. That's what we want to do. But what you want to do is you want to say, okay, if I could break down my communication, what would I work on? So for example, you might say that one week you're going to check your website and you're going to make sure that the phone number that's on there is correct. You're going to look everywhere on the website to make sure it's right. You're going to go in and make sure the email address is correct. And you're going to put in some email tests back to you to see if you get it, or does it go to spam, or does it go to you? And you're going to make sure that website is working really well with people being able to communicate to you. And you're also going to check any other places that you might have your business on. It might be Facebook, it might be any other social media, but you're going to check that. So you're going to make sure from a website standpoint, that's one of your goals for one particular week. Then the next week, what you might do is you say, you know what, I'm going to time block and make sure that on my calendar from here on forward, I'm going to pick a 1 hour spot in the morning and at night. So 2 different hours, one in the morning, one at night, where I am going to go through and communicate with my clients. So I'm going to make sure that I end every night by making sure that every single person that I needed to contact is contacted and gotten back to. And in the morning, I'm going to set up the day and the communication and get back to people, for example, on anything that I didn't do the night before or that I need to set up for today or for the following day. Each business is a little bit different, but you're going to want to say, okay, this is on my calendar. It's non-negotiable. I'm going to schedule around these time blocks because this is when I am communicating with my customers and this is what I'm going to do. You're going to pick when you're going to work on your quotes. Let's say part of your communication problem when you fall down is because you don't have scheduled the time to work on the quotes to get back to people, so you never respond back. Get it? How are you going to do it? Pick a time block. What's it going to look like? How are you going to break down that process? Is there something broken in the process you use? It's not about the time. It's just, you're just not efficient at it. And how can you make that a little bit better? You're going to create sheets or whatever the case may be. So each week, you're basically going to have an action item that allows you to move forward on this goal so that by the end of the 12 weeks, you've got this goal tackled. Now, you might have 2 or 3 goals for that 12 weeks. That's okay as well. And one of them might even be a personal goal where you're going to do something for yourself fitness-wise or with your family or whatever the case may be. The key is you need to challenge yourself, but not challenge yourself so much that you don't get it done. You need something that pushes you, that challenges you to make a difference in your business. And that's the biggest thing. And you need to take that goal and then break it down. It can't stay big and fluffy. You've got to sit down and you have to say, okay, these are the steps that need to happen. These are the things that need to do. They call them tactics in the book. But what we're going to do is we're just going to say there's steps to getting to your goal, because you want to make sure that you have a impact on your business at the end of the 12 weeks. You don't want to just pick something that's small. You want something that you can honestly say that when you get to the end of the 12 weeks, you're like, dang, that was hard, but so worth it. I am seeing such a difference in my business and I'm having these changes and this is what's going. The biggest thing you have to do in this process, by the way, is you have to commit. You have to commit that you're going to do this every single day. And that's why the time blocking is so critical, because you need to make sure that you're holding yourself accountable for working on the business. And if you can get a buddy, like another business owner, or even somebody that can help hold you accountable, a friend, a family member, whatever, where you check in with them. The book also talks about the fact that sometimes when we have accountability, we tend to get things done because we don't want to let them down. And we definitely don't want to let ourselves down by having to have these meetings and not get it done. I highly recommend doing those, but I understand if some of you can't do that. But whatever process you have to have in place, because some of you just love to check boxes and get things done. So you might not need as much accountability just because you're harder on yourself than anybody would ever be on you. But I want to make sure that you are doing it. That is the key, okay? Because at the end of the day, you have to take ownership of your business and you have to think like a business owner. In order to do that, you've got to set goals for your business and you need to stop trying to do the full year goals. It just doesn't work, folks. I know we try to do it, and let's face it, we have thousands and thousands and millions of stories about people that set goals for themselves and they never get it done. And I'm going to bet that if you look at your business over the last few years, you have set goals for your business, and I'll bet you probably failed at the vast majority of them. Not saying all of them, but I would say that you have failed at the vast majority of them. So I just want you to start thinking a little bit differently and saying, hey, if I chunk this down and I did this in 12-week years in these smaller chunks, I bet you I can get it done. Matter of fact, I'm going to do it in my business. I've been sitting here the last few days really thinking about what the next 12 weeks are going to look like. I just came off of 12 weeks and it wasn't too bad. I had a health thing that kind of popped in there, threw me off. But for the most part, for the next 12 weeks, I'm already thinking, okay, what are going to be my major goals that I'm going to accomplish in each parts of my business? And for me personally, so that I can say, hey, not only did I finish this year strong, but I really set myself up for success in the coming year. And with the timing of this, depending upon when you're listening up, it might work great for you as well. But don't let that hang you up, okay? Because at the end of the day, you can do this anytime. That's what's great about the 12-week year. You don't have to tie it into the quarters. Is it easier tying it into the quarters? Absolutely, because that's how our brain is processing, right? To do it in the summer, fall, spring, and winter. But you don't have to do it that way. You can start a 12-week year anytime. There's no excuses. Even if you are in the weirdest time of the year, let's just say, okay, we'll say it's September 12th. Okay, it's a great time to do it. If it's March 3rd, great time to start doing it. You can do this any single day to start that you want. And by the way, if you do want to learn more about the whole concept behind the 12-week year and you love to learn more about it, I definitely recommend you checking out the 12-week year by Ryan Moran and Michael Lennington. I'll put a link in the show notes for those of you that want to check that out. I personally have read the book and listened to the audiobook. I think both of them are really good. It just depends upon what type of learner you are, but I definitely think they are worth your time and energy. It's probably one of the top books, I would say, that are out there, just because I think that really helps you focus on those goals better. And I think that it really gives you a process to be very successful, because I think when we do have those 1-year goals, it's very difficult to stay motivated and on top of them. And our business changes throughout the year. And to me, that's where the 12-week comes in, because it allows you to focus your goals on the particular time of the year that you're really trying to focus on, versus just being willy-nilly and then having to adjust on the fly. So by doing 12 weeks, I think you're going to find that it's really going to help you out. Now, I'm not going to keep rattling on this. I think it's a great opportunity. I definitely recommend that you dive into it a little bit more, learn all you can about it. But if you have nothing to lose, even if you don't read the book, just try it. Just try it. Just pick a 12-week going forward. Pick 12 weeks. Go pick 1 to 3 goals. Break them down into weekly can-do items that you're going to be doing, action items, if you will, for each week. And let's just see what happens in 12 weeks. And if you find that it was the most productive that you've been in a long time and you've tackled the most, then great, do it again. Learn more about it. So even if you don't dive 100% all in today, just try it. I think you're going to find that you like it and you like the process. And I think you're going to want to learn more about it. And that's what matters the most. With that, I am going to go ahead and start wrapping this puppy up and get out of here. You guys have work to do. You have some goals to set and you need to break them down. I want to hear some of those stories from you guys about how this really helped you out in getting a lot done in your business. With that, I am out of here and I will talk to you on the next episode. Bye for now. Hey, badass business owner, before you go, as you know, I'm a huge believer in you knowing your business numbers. After all, it isn't about how much you sell, it's about what you keep. And the best way to grow your profits is to start diving in and understanding those business numbers. To help you on this journey, I have created the Know Your Business Numbers course. We will walk through how to read your profit and loss statement. You'll learn the key calculations that'll help ensure that you're making a healthy profit on all of your products or services, plus a ton of other good stuff that'll help you learn how to use those business numbers to create even more sales and profits. Just check out the link below in the show notes or visit knowyourbusinessnumberscourse.com. So if you're ready to increase those profits, it's time you start diving into your business numbers.